What's up, you guys? We've got an interesting thing going on. We have one of the producers deciding to be playful today with everything. So, what's good? How you guys doing today? A lot of great stuff happening. We had a prediction show earlier today, so I mean, that's going to be great. We had two nice guys being nice today, so yeah. So all I say is, for my three friends here, what's good? How you doing?
I did two predictions shows today. I did one for Against All Odds and for NXT in Your House. They're both on my Twitter. Go check them out. When you're done watching this, of course. Watch this first. We're live.
It's real hot over here.
It is real hot.
It's like 84 degrees and it feels like 90. And it's and I was producing the prediction show earlier, and Ron was saying how hot it was. And I was like, it's not any better up here. And he was like, well, you're up there and I'm in Florida. And so I showed him the temp on my phone, and it was bad.
Oh boy. Well, we're not going to start with. No,
you don't want to start with.
I'm gonna go. You Ray, take over. I'm gonna go start promoting for a little.
Okay, so we're not going to start with some Steiner math. So let's not do that. We do have NXT in Your House this weekend. We've got Impact Against All Odds this weekend. Kenny Omega is going to probably beat Moose. Thoughts on the week that we've seen in wrestling? Highlights of the week. Andrade's All Elite. That's pretty sweet.
That was the one highlight of that Dynamite, I would say. That was
you know what that Dynamite was? It was a WWE Dynamite because there were so many promos.
It was still better than WWE, but yes. For AEW standard, it was not very good. Andrade was still worth watching the entire show for. But yeah, that Friday night 10 o'clock slot, like when it goes to Rampage, I'm glad they're only doing an hour, but that's going to struggle with ratings.
I mean, you also got to think about it with ratings because they don't really matter as much as they used to.
But I mean, they do and they don't.
At 10 o'clock time slot, you're not going to get good ratings anyway.
Right, but I'm glad that they're doing it as a 1 hour show. Yeah. Because if you tried to do a 2 hour show on that's not going to work with very many people. Like for us on the East Coast time zone, I think that's where pretty much all of us are. Yeah, I think so. For us, like that's Rampage getting done at 11 o'clock. For people west of us, that's getting done at 10, 9, 8 o'clock. At that point on a Friday night, you can still go out and do something afterwards too.
Yes.
Where we live, when it's ending at midnight, you're not going to go out and do something after that. So then you're going to decide, or you're going to say, all right, I'm not watching Dynamite or Rampage. I'm going to go out and do something. But
that's if you watched SmackDown before too, because like last week you had people who watched SmackDown and then watched Dynamite 4 hours right there. And if you're, because Rampage is going to be, is that every week? Is that every
Friday? It'll be every Friday, but it'll be an hour.
So right there, 3 hours on Monday and 3 hours on Friday, and that's not counting Dark Elevation on Mondays, which is typically at least an hour 15. This Dynamite wasn't great, but from an AEW perspective, a not great Dynamite is still not that bad. It's still pretty good. Andrade was really cool. I don't know about Vicky Guerrero being his manager though, and there's been a lot of There's been a lot of discourse about this. There's some that thinks that it's smart because Vicky can be a mouthpiece, for him because he is still working on his English and he is still learning it. But there's also people who go, well, look at what happened to Nyla Rose. She got teamed up with Vicky Guerrero and then disappeared on TV for months.
But it's AEW. The AEW, almost half the roster has a manager of some sort or a mouthpiece. But
that's not necessarily a manager as much as like
they're part of
a
stable
friendly with. And
And there's also
even people who could talk have them, you know? People could
and
talk.
There's a lot of people who are saying Vicky's still doing the things she was doing in WWE when she was a SmackDown GM with the whole thing, which is like, yeah, that's true. Like, she's still doing the excuse me. Like, she's very much is still doing a lot of what
she
she's doing.
She got massive reaction and heat in that one segment. And then once Andrade came out, everything changed.
Yeah.
Well, so to kind of work back on that too, like I do think that some of the criticisms of Vicky of like, oh, you paired her with Nyla and then Nyla ended up off TV. Nyla had already won the championship, lost the championship. She'd kind of done some of those big top tier stories. You had to build up some of the other women anyways. Like, I don't know that that's fair to put that on Vicky because you weren't going to probably do much with Nyla anyways. But as far as like I'm trying to figure out how I want to word this. Come back to me.
Okay. I don't know. Drew, you're over there all quiet like. What do you think of this whole Andrade in AEW and the being with Vicky?
I question it, as you do, because, you know, like you said, Nyla Rose, that was her big thing last year. And then she was on TV maybe not even a handful of times for months after that. So, but I do have a feeling Nyla Rose is, I hate to say it this way, because I don't mean it this way, but just in the hierarchy of stuff, I don't think Nyla Rose is as important as Andrade.
No.
Just in terms of shows and the star power, and you know, Andrade is already off doing other things, I think, in AAA, right?
Well, he's facing Omega.
He's facing Omega.
He had signed a match to do Triple Mania. Where I'm curious of how that worked out is, did they have that deal in place and then he signs with AEW later? Or did the deal with AEW, like, was that already in place? Because I do think that matters, because now you have a very unique dynamic of, if Andrade beat Kenny for the AAA title, you have an AEW talent with the AAA title that beat the AEW champion if the match isn't for both titles. That's a weird dynamic that you've got to be careful of how you play with that. But I also look at it now and go like, okay, now they're both AEW champions, or now they're both AEW people. So if Kenny beats Andrade, it's not really a big deal, because he's not supposed to be the guy that takes the AAA title back, because he's just another AEW guy. And as far as like the way Andrade, this is the point I was trying to make earlier, actually. As far as the way Andrade was presented, I did think that it was kind of interesting how they did it, though, because it was basically, hey, Mark Henry, this guy that was with the Fed for all this time, look, he's coming out here. And I thought it was weird he didn't get any music. That was a weird thing to me. And then all of a sudden he's trying to talk, and then all of a sudden Vicky comes out. And I'm like, why the hell is Vicky interrupting this legend that didn't even get music? And when it was to introduce Andrade, I thought that was a weird way to stack that, but also a way of saying like, yeah, Mark Henry's important, but look, we've got Andrade. And I thought that was kind of cool.
But also the most interesting for me was that I don't watch AEW like you guys religiously. I just watch it from afar if it comes through, you know, the YouTube stuff and everything. But you didn't really, and I made this a point on Love Wrestling's show over the week. Go check them out. One of our boys is going to be on tonight with a huge guest, meaning literally. You never heard Andrade ever cut a promo. He always had Zelina there. But having him cut this promo in English, which is really crisp in the voice he has, a lot of people made it. He's got his fiance is one of the top talents in the world in wrestling who can cut a promo. His soon-to-be father-in-law, I mean, that says it all right there. Mm-hmm. You know, it wouldn't be shocking that Flair, both of them rub off on him, and in that learning experience, just like anything else, like people say in wrestling, it just rubs off on them, you know?
Now let me ask you this.
Promo was good.
Now let me ask you this, a throwback. As somebody who doesn't watch AEW all that much, does Andrade being in the company, does that make you kind of think, okay, maybe I'll start paying a little bit more attention to it and watching it more to see him?
It has me curious. It has me curious, but reserved. Okay. I don't want to. It's one person. Like Moxley being in AEW, yeah, that had me interested. Jericho, not so much. It didn't. I've seen Jericho's entire career for the most part from WCW. You know, him getting into WWE, and then now in AEW, I've seen it from afar. So I've seen Jericho's body of work. I mean, it. To me, to get seriously invested in something, it would have to be on the level of somebody posted a picture of Britt Baker versus Deonna Purrazzo. And if the proverbial door was open, having somebody from WWE circumvent it around with New Japan and just have that ultimate thing, I would have to be fully invested. But Deonna versus Britt, I would literally sit there with you guys, watch the pay-per-view, and just be enthralled in just that one match. But other than that, I mean, Andrade's wrestling skills, there's no denying it's unbelievable, but it's really difficult to invest into somebody where another company he went to literally just dragged him down when they raised him up in NXT so high. And he was literally going to be what some people thought the second coming of Eddie Guerrero. And
he's never supposed to be NXT champion at that TakeOver Survivor Series, the Drew McIntyre match. You know that was an audible, right?
Yes, I know that. But I'm saying just
I didn't know that like a month ago.
For me though, it was one of those things that just it raised his status and raised the bar. Yeah. And for me though, I can see like that's why I was asking. I even said this is that it's amazing to me how many wrestling factions there are in wrestling right now. And like the one company everybody bullies and thrash, there's only literally like one WWE, one faction, AEW, possibly in down the line, 3. It's like, come on, man.
There's way more than 3 in AEW. You got Inner Circle, Pinnacle, the Factory, Nightmare Family,
Dark Order,
Team Taz.
Team Taz, yeah.
I mean, like 3 that I can literally, as a casual fan, like name off the top of my head: the Pinnacle, the Dark Order, and the Inner Circle.
Oh,
3.
Or the Elite. The Elite is like.
But I think you mentioning like the casual fan thing, like I think to AEW's credit, they are willing to do enough to say like, you know what, the casual fans are the casual fans. Yeah. We need to take care of our core audience. So to those who have watched AEW, you say religiously, I think that's a little heavy, but like someone who's watched it every single week since it started, there's enough in it for me to where like I can say like there's enough layers there of different groups of different people. And like the people like me that watch all the time, like I don't catch every single Dark. I try to catch it when I can, but like I'm not watching all that because I know it's just matches. But like I watch the main TV product every single time it's on. And so I'm rewarded for that. And a lot of times WWE doesn't do that. And that's really what pulls me in, is knowing like everything that I'm looking at could come back in months and be like, oh, remember when this happened? Like something as simple as a long time ago when Hangman Page was doing his whole drinking issue. And he was at Private Party's little bar and he was drinking and he never paid his tab. And then after like all the stuff with Private Party dealing with Matt Hardy, like 6 months later, Hangman goes up and goes, hey, you know what? I never paid you that $12. Here you go. Like they didn't have to tie up a loose end like that. WWE would have forgot about it. But that's something where you go, oh, that was pretty cool actually. And I'm rewarded for watching. And
for me though, it's like you said, you've watched it since the beginning. So that is religious watching. It's like a good example. I've seen every single Dragon Ball episode in Dragon Ball Z all the way up to the final one. And then I've watched every episode of Super all the way to one. that to me is religiously watching something, and by the way, in 2 different languages. So I mean, that's passion right there.
Sure.
But
so to your point, Throwback, because I was very much in your shoes when the Wednesday Night Wars was going on. Like I was very much like, okay, I'm not like I know what's going on in AEW, but I'm not really watching it. Like I'm hearing what's going on because I listen to the post shows. You know, I watched All Out last year, but I didn't watch Full Gear. I didn't watch Revolution. I didn't do all that. When NXT moved off of Wednesdays to Tuesdays, and I was like, okay, I can now I can actually really try to watch these shows because they're on separate nights. They're not competing with each other because my ADHD brain would try to watch both, and I wouldn't be able to take anything in of either one. I just couldn't. So I've only been watching Dynamite since NXT moved to Tuesdays, and even then I've missed a couple of them. I've seen most of the elevations, which you don't have to watch. And this past Tuesday was the first time I watched a whole thing of Dark from beginning to end, and it was really only because I ended up talking with it on about it while it was airing on Discord. I think if you were to just start watching Dynamite, I think you could start now. And I think also because this is one strength AEW has that WWE doesn't do. Their commentary team, they're really good at helping to fill in the gaps for people and and saying things, because you've got JR and Tony Schiavone, which JR, he's not the JR that he was before. Tony Schiavone is still sharp. Schiavone is still sharp. He knows what he's doing. You've got Excalibur, who is also really good, and then sometimes you'll have Taz come on, who is still good and can still talk. And if there's things that you need to know, commentary will do a great job in making sure that you know it without feeling like you're lost and you're understanding something. It'll take you some time to kind of learn who's who, and I'm very much am still doing that. But I think if you were to just start watching Dynamite, I think after a few weeks, I think you would be amazed at really how not difficult it really is to understand, and especially when you're watching Raw for 3 hours and it's Raw and it's doing what it's doing, and then you go to Dynamite and you see what they're doing, and not everything on Dynamite is going to be perfect. It's not all going to hit, but it's gonna be a lot more enjoyable.
So I'll say this too, because I know we don't need to turn the show into a throwback. Should watch AEW because either you will or you won't. If a guy like Mox didn't bring you over, if a guy like Andrade, if a guy like Mox didn't bring you over, a guy like Andrade is probably not going to do it. I would say that one guy now, that
might bring you over.
Yeah, so I don't think that they're really.
It'll never happen.
And I'll be honest, I don't even think one specific person would do it. Like you mentioned,
Cena would.
Diana, well, if
they ever got Cena.
If you were because you had mentioned if they brought over Deonna Purrazzo, you'd want to see that match with Britt Baker. A lot of people would. I don't think that even that would turn you into a consistent viewer. I think that a lot of it's just for a lot of people, it is what it is.
It's not like WCW.
So it's not. But I mean, it is and it isn't. But if you're not watching already, I think it's one of those things where it's because you've developed a habit, and in order to change that, you have to change a habit. And so if you watch the stuff, I think that you probably would get into it if you said, all right, the next 3 weeks, I'm going to watch it consistently. I think that would be enough to hook you.
Yeah.
But again, at this point, what's out there. You've heard a lot of people talk about it. It might not be for you, and that's fine because not every wrestling company is for everybody. I think you would like it. But again, we're not doing the show as a convince throwbacks to watch AEW because there's better things to talk about.
We also got to move on about other stuff too, considering the fact that this whole week's been crazy. I'm going to open up the floor to this. What do you guys think of the Heart documentary, the biography?
Haven't seen it.
Oh my freaking god! It was awesome.
I haven't watched any of them, to be honest.
Oh, go ahead.
They literally went step by step through his career and everything and his life and everything. They talked about his divorce. They talked about Owen, how big of an impact is.
They
They
talked about his father, how he literally lived in a tent and like
in
freezing cold and stuff, and he had to survive on eating rabbits and stuff like that.
I think for out of all of these, I think there might be one more coming down, but I'm not sure.
Yes, there's one more. Piper's last one, I believe. Not Piper. No, there is one more.
I'll look it up. But out of all of them, I think this one has been, with the details and stuff like that, is more in depth than anything. And they cover his stroke, they cover his mountain bike accident, they cover a ton of stuff. So if anybody hasn't seen that, you should. It's really good. Now, as much as I get grief in our show chat and stuff like that, yes, I did put a typo out there. Lilo and Stitch Rush. Lilo Rush retiring.
Lilo Stitch.
I think Anakin's Max Headroom right now. And yeah, that's an 80s reference because he's frozen. Very slowly frozen.
Okay.
Now he's moving.
I don't know what's going on. I just noticed all of a sudden everything was slowing down. I was like, is it me or is it like Ray's connection? Because he was the first one I noticed, and I was like, oh, maybe it's his connection. And then Throwback slowed down. Like, oh no, maybe it is mine. Okay, is it better?
Yeah, but I think the interesting part about all this is that how amazing of a talent he has. And not only just wrestling, but music wise. So whatever he decides to do after this point is amazing. So what's your favorite Lio? Yeah, Lio. Oh God, Mr. Rush's match.
I loved Lio Rush. Like when he left WWE, I followed pretty much any indie stuff he was doing. I'm very sad that he's deciding to hang it up. I did read that I think he has some New Japan obligations that he can't get out of. So I don't know if that's New. Yeah, I think that's New Japan saying, no, you signed a contract, you're wrestling. Which kind of sucks because then, like, if he's not in it, like, that seems dangerous. But he's also enough of a pro that I could see him going, you know what, I signed the deal, here's these matches. And so I'm very excited to see. I don't know if he necessarily
is going to need to wrestle, though, because he just said he's got appearances and he is injured. So, I mean, he could
I think they said once he's healed, though.
Just let him go, man.
And that's kind of where I'm at, too. But, like, I'm also looking at it going, you know what? I at least get to know that we get to see him a couple more times. And I'll be honest, selfishly, I'm hoping that when he does those last couple of appearances, he goes, you know what? Maybe I'm not done. I had to heal up anyways. Let's keep going. And, like, maybe, like, because I'd love to see Lio Rush get to do whatever they were going to let him do in AEW, because like when he debuted as the Joker, I know that like I had thought, hey, Nick Gage, that'd be cool. But I think when they debuted Seidel last year as the Joker, of like, this is kind of the level of guy you're going to get, I didn't really think Lio Rush as like a possibility, because I've seen all the stuff he's been doing on the indies, and I thought, you know what, that's not the spot for him. And when he showed up, I freaked out. Like, I was super excited because I love Lio Rush, and now he's gone, and I'm sad.
Look at Ray. He misses his binky.
Lio Rush he's awesome, man. Like his Blackheart character is just fantastic.
The stuff he did in 205 Live was amazing. The stuff with Lashley he did was amazing. You know, I get it. It's really difficult.
Lashley.
Yeah, it's really difficult when someone that you actually admire talent-wise is just gone. I mean, think about it. For me, from my generation, like when you had somebody on the level of like what? Austin retiring when you went through the Attitude Era was a huge thing.
He's not there, but like I get you.
Yeah. But I mean, just talent-wise, somebody who's like who you absolutely are fully invested in. Like for me, it was Austin. Hell, I've got memories of him walking by me at the arena when they dedicated the street to him at their arena. So I mean, for me, I get it. It would also be for me if like Finn decided to abruptly retire because of injury or something like that, you know.
But like Finn's like 40 something. Lio Rush is like 25.
I have a story to tell you about retirement. I was at a live event in Toronto back in 2014. If you know Santil Morel, he's actually Canadian. He retired. He officially announced his retirement at a live event.
Yeah, I remember that. But I remember that. I remember the whole thing. Did he freeze again? No, he's still there.
There we go. All right, yeah, we're good.
No, I wasn't.
But I mean, for me though, like live show wise, I think it's more interesting. I think it's more interesting to see people that you admire go, and it as a fan, it's more devastating. I mean, for some people who are love music, it's like these bands that keep constantly going back saying, "This is our last tour," and then 2 months later, "Nope, this is our last tour." We get that in wrestling with "This is my last match." I mean, look at Shawn Michaels. He's like, "I ain't coming out of retirement," and then the Saudi money hit, and then boom, Flair. I mean, even RVD said it on his icons that he went too far. He's still wrestling, but he's not wrestling at the amount he was back then. He's doing what he wants.
To be fair to like the Shawn Michaels one, I get it. Like he did come back to the Saudi show, but like outside of that, and like we understand there's different stipulations. Like some of those people were asking for wrestlers that died like 20 years ago. Like
I remember Yokozuna was one of them.
Yeah, and like that's a thing that like as much as they shouldn't have done the Saudi shows, I at least kind of get it. Where he's like, you know what, they're asking for all these people. Shawn Michaels is still not super kicking and not thigh slapping, but like we can do that one more. But other than that, he did stay out. But yeah, as far as the fake retirement, you gotta give credit to Mr. Terry Funk, right? Like that's the ultimate man of retirement.
Yeah, Mick Foley, remember he had to retire in
Foley,
in match?
Yeah, Foley had to come back out a couple of times too, and he even said it. He regretted it. Even going to TNA, he regretted it.
We all have to remember Mr. Salmon Jacket himself, Mark Henry. What a fake retirement that one was.
That was great.
Yeah, but that was the thing where he never planned on retiring. Like Foley, I think wanted to be done, but then
he even said it he said in his biography episode that he thought by the time he was 35 he'd be done.
Yeah, because he was planning on being done after WrestleMania 2000. Like, at No Way Out with that Hell in a Cell. He had, because that was like, okay, I'm gonna be done, and then he was approached me like, hey, you want to be in the main event of WrestleMania? And that was the thing that was on his bucket list, and he was like, sure, and then he ended up coming back, several more times before his injuries finally forced him to retire, because he couldn't get cleared anymore.
It's interesting that two major people in these biographies, like really good known wrestlers, like if you had to ask the casual fan if who you knew Mick Foley was, everybody who would know Mick Foley was, and Bret Hart, that they're not their careers, but the way their lives parallel, like they're both family people. The only difference with Foley is that he is still married to his wife, where Hart was, was divorced. I mean, Foley put his body through hell.
So, like, you can't.
No, but I'm saying, like, life-wise, how everything seems like. But it's interesting, though.
Yeah, like using wrestling really. A lot of families, that they don't with their spouse. A lot of them end up getting divorced or broken up. But Mick Foley, he stayed with his wife for over 30 years now.
Yeah. Well, somebody.
Can we break something that just broke on Impact? Anakin just threw it in the chat. I have my sound on Impact off, but this is kind of a big deal.
Go ahead, knock yourself out.
Oh, you want me to announce? Okay,
yeah. Okay. You put it in the chat. I'm not stealing your lines.
Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah. So, the Impact title match this Saturday between Moose and Kenny is going to be at Daly's place, where AEW does all their shows. which is
separate from where they're doing their own pay-per-view.
Yes, and then which is which I think begs the question. One, like, are there going to be any sort of fans there? Because this is all taped, right? Like, this isn't live, is it? Or is it live?
I'm not sure, but like the Impact stuff, I think, don't quote me on this because they've been fanless the whole time. I think they were going to have, or no, they're not going to have fans until Slammiversary, I don't think. So
Right.
I don't think that there's fans at the rest of the card. But I wouldn't be surprised if they were like, hey, it's a one-match thing with Omega and Moose.
That's what I'm wondering. If this is live.
Why do you do that?
Yes, exactly.
Oh, is it this Saturday?
Yeah, it's this Saturday. That's what I'm saying. Like, you don't move it to Daly's place for no reason.
Can they sell tickets that quickly in 2 days?
Oh, they could.
It's Florida, brother. They can do anything.
It's Florida, but also, like, I hate to say it. If this was an AEW thing, I think they might have had a little bit of trouble just because I think AEW has pretty much, like, I think they pretty much tired out Jacksonville. Like, they're getting back on the road just in time. But the fact that this is an Impact match, promoted as an Impact match for the Impact title with Moose, and nobody has been able to see an Impact match in person for a year plus, I think there might be more interest for this, especially if they do things like, hey, let's go ahead. We already have it set up. We have people here. Let's do Elevation beforehand. That's
probably what they'll do, but I also don't think you're not getting a crowd of 15,000 people for this either. So you'll have a crowd, but
that's fair. That's very fair. You're not gonna fill that arena up.
So they're doing the whole Impact show that's coming up at Daly's place.
No. Just Kenny and Omega.
Their match.
The rest of the card is where they've been doing it, wherever the name of the new Impact Zone is.
Skyway Center.
Yeah, but Kenny and Moose, it will be at Daly's place in Jacksonville.
The winner faces Callahan, right? Slammiversary.
Yes, at Slammiversary.
Well, Omega and Callahan Slammiversary, because we don't know what's happening.
That would be
spelled it wrong.
That would be a great match, Kenny and Callahan. That would be good. That'd be a good match.
It's a power drive Don Callis.
What?
Power drive Don Callis. That's what Callahan's doing.
Hey, I don't watch much Impact, but I've seen enough to know Sammy can work, especially if he's with the right person. And I think Kenny
is the draw.
Well, as much as breaking news like that is great, there was some stuff we didn't get to talk about last week. Hi, Maggie, if you're watching.
Let's get Megan here.
I think she's asleep. Yeah.
Let's wake her up.
No.
Like 4 a.m. over there. Leave her alone.
Yeah. Don't poke the bear. Don't poke the bear. So a lot of the stuff we tried getting through, which was awesome. The releases happened last week, Raw being Raw. But major news that actually happened today. The reign of Kylie Ray is gone.
I saw the news. Really? This is what I was alluding to.
I was watching
it. Are you okay? I saw the news, and this is not about you.
Right?
The thing about it is that I was watching it at work with the wrestling story, which is Mr. Glean and Maven, his daughter. And literally, when they said, "Oh yeah, she lost the belt," I was like, "Oh, I know what this means." They're going to end up throwing her in NXT, which means that you've got a future NXT champion sitting right there.
No. Oh, no. Hold on.
Why?
Hold on.
What?
So, I just figured it out. Eva.
No, don't even joke about it.
Where are you going?
Don't even joke about it.
We knew that Eva was supposed to be debuting a new talent that she was going to manage soon. And it's somebody who that rumor has it, didn't make a whole lot of sense. it's gonna be Eva and
No, you know who would make a lot of sense?
No, because it was Piper Niven that was.
Yeah, but that could change.
They are not. Okay, Kaylee Ray may have because she had what 500 days as champion throwback.
800.
Ray, don't even joke about
800, really?
Yeah.
Just remember, she has to cut promos that Vince watches.
Yeah,
she
but
has
I mean,
a very thick accent.
I was confused with Eva. Is she manager or is she gonna wrestle? Because some of her promos are her in the ring and stuff. Like
sounds like that she will
both.
manage.
But I think she'll do both.
I think she'll mainly manage, but she'll occasionally wrestle like what Zelina did.
There we go.
I honestly think that if everything goes the way it is, if Eva Marie is going to manage somebody, I don't think it's going to be Kaylee Ray. I think she's going to NXT. If
you can do a Piper Niven,
if things go
skinny,
no, let me finish. If everything goes the way it could, Piper Niven could go to NXT also.
Like, no disrespect to her. I mean, like.
But I could see them repackaging Nia so Nia doesn't say a goddamn word and having Eva Marie say everything.
I think Nia's too busy. Like
original.
Yeah, there's the Reginald thing, there's the Shayna stuff. Like, I think we're gonna finally see those two actually have their match, which I don't know why you took so long, but hey, it's there. They can tell it as long-term storytelling, but Can you go back to the Niven thing? Like, what were you? I didn't quite get what you were saying.
What is she gonna do? Because this Piper Niven, like, I don't want to get in trouble because Piper Niven, she's a good wrestler, but she has size, and I don't want to say that. You know what I'm talking about with Piper Niven. I don't want to get controversial here, but with Eva Marie, what are you gonna do? Motivate her to lose weight and stuff to make her look like a model, whatever? I think that's a bad combo.
Okay. I was a little worried where you were going there too. But
because like I really like Piper Niven too.
I do. No, yeah. I have no problem with Piper Niven. I just don't with Eva Marie. I think that's gonna be controversial.
I mean, this is a company that did Piggy James and thought that was a good idea.
A lot of people forgot that they also did Natalia farting everywhere too.
Well, and they did the thing with Alexa Bliss and Nia too. That I didn't really like that either.
But with the thing, Twitter wasn't like social media wasn't ablaze like it is now, and
I don't know. Like, I think for Eva, like, okay, look, I'll be honest. Ultimately, I don't care what Eva does because I'm not watching Raw. I'm not watching it. The most I might have to deal with it is if I occasionally watch a pay-per-view, which. At this point, the next pay-per-view I watch will probably be Money in the Bank because I just don't have an interest. I don't have an interest in it. But
since you brought Money in the Bank up, right?
Okay.
I might as well segue a little bit into the tournament. So I'm going to put all of four of you on the spot. We already have a match already announced for Money in the Bank for the tournament. Who's your pick, Spencer or Pluggo?
Oh.
Spencer.
I'll go Pluggo.
Right.
You guys are going to predict?
You go
first? Fine. On 3, both of you say your answer. So okay? 1.
No, we're not playing this childish game. You 3. Just say your answer.
Spencer.
I'll go Pluggo.
Wow.
Well,
I'm gonna tell you this much. All right, the stipulation on there has been agreed to by one party of that, and I'll announce the stipulation now because Pluggo's on air and he can't do anything about this. The stipulation of the Money in the Bank tournament match next month, and somebody could go run into Love Wrestling and go tell Pluggo this, that the loser has to donate to either the Jimmy Fund or to the Lowell General Hospital Cancer Center and donate a certain amount. Now, it doesn't have to be $100. It doesn't have to be. You just have to donate it. And if you want to go one further and ask me personally, my mom's name, you could do that too. I want to be able to have somebody put an extra step into this. And the Jimmy Fund deals with cancer, with kids with cancer. They go with the Dana-Farber Center. And the Little General Cancer Center is where my mom primarily went to. So, I mean, I figured, they're doing something with the Trevor Project. So go, if you haven't done the Chug thing, go check out Love Wrestling. They are helping the Trevor Project out and raising awareness and also giving out money, getting donations for them. If you have a family member that has cancer or anything like that, and you're in the Boston area, you know what the Jimmy Fund is. If you're outside of the state of Massachusetts, Dana-Farber Cancer because of the fact that they're cancer center, because they're literally the leading cancer center in the country. When I say do a good deed, pay it forward, go out, donate. If you go donate to the Jimmy Fund, you could do the great things and stuff. But if you're around here, Lowell General Cancer Center is a huge thing. And that's why I said, that's the stipulation. It doesn't have to be, they give you an amount where there goes between 25 to 100 in there. And if you want to take your time and look at it, I will be putting the URL out on my Twitter, and I'll be pitting it on there for the entire month of July. So
now I have a question for you about Money in the Bank with the tournament. Do we want to have a second prediction challenge for that between? Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. It's Money in the Bank. What, of course, is the big draw of Money in the Bank? That Money in the Bank briefcase, a guaranteed title shot. So here's my proposal. I'll let you think about it. Here's my proposal. Everybody in the tournament who's not Pluggo and Spencer, everybody in the tournament, we all randomly, or not randomly, then we all give our own predictions for Money in the Bank to Tad. He holds on to them, and then the first show after Money in the Bank, it's announced if either Pluggo or Spencer is moving on in the tournament, and then also whoever wins in the predictions with that, they get the then I don't know what you want to call this, the Wicked Crazy in the Bank, or whatever you want to call it, where that person at some point can automatically challenge the champion at a future date. It's got to be after the tournament. We have to get all the way through the tournament so they can hold on to it.
Counter. I think that's a bad idea, and here's why.
Okay.
You have this whole tournament of who's going to go for the title. And before the tournament's even really getting going, we're already going, hey, this person's got an already shot after they lost. Because that's realistically what's going to be a lot of the people. It's going to be people that have lost already, or people that are going to lose who aren't going to use. I think that's something we do for next year's month.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So then
I like the gimmick. I just don't think we're there yet.
Let me counter it with this then. Instead of for that, how about the right to host the show for a week?
I like that better. I think that's better.
Yeah. So Mexico.
No, because literally this, and to be very honest with everybody that's watching this, all 6 or 7 people, 8 or people right now, or whoever is going to be watching this when we promote this afterwards, which hit the like button, hit the subscribe, and hit it to all, and you'll know what we're doing and what all insanity this is with this tournament and stuff, and go on the other channel too and do the same. I can honestly say with being around with you guys gets me through the workday on Thursdays. So if you take that out away from me on a Thursday night, even if I'm producing in the background and stuff like that, I would probably just be walking around going insane and be like, what am I doing? What am I doing?
You'd still be on the show. You just wouldn't be in the host chair. You could still be on the show and talk. You just wouldn't be in that host chair.
Okay, do we remember me getting my COVID shot and what happened?
That was a great show. Your host was just
Yeah, and remember what happened with me losing my mind halfway through?
It was a great show.
How about this? And I'll put this out there. She's probably going to watch this afterward. If we could do on a day off a special show, and I will give up the hosting rights for one night if Maggie hosts.
Yes.
That has nothing to do with the Money in the Bank thing. So
I know.
Here's another option. To give us something totally different. The winner of the Money in the Bank gimmick that you're trying to do of like everyone sends picks, whatever. Mm-hmm. The winner gets to pick a show to do a retro review of. Okay?
That's fine.
Okay. I'm down with that. I'm good with that.
There we go.
Does anybody want to rush into Love Wrestling and say, hey, Pluggo, throwback, name the stipulation of your match with Spencer?
He'll find out.
Probably
we
not.
Can run in when we're done here.
No, he's got
They're
a
online.
huge guest on there. They're on right now.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I don't want to say anything about the other huge guests on.
Oh my god, yeah, no. But it's going to be fun, and plus, if this match goes the way I hope, it will give back to people who have lung cancer, and all different forms of cancer to help out. So if anybody is serious and wants to do something, please go donate. Anything to help cancer research is more important. And I literally told my sister this, and she started crying a little bit because, it once you're it's different for being it's big time dealing with being a patient, but the family also gets really affected by it. And, for me and my sister, it literally changed everything. I thought we would be planning a trip to go to Ireland this year, and my mom would be 70 this year, and that's not the case. So, I mean, do a good deed, pay it forward, do something good for somebody, and, take your time off and stuff like that. Yes, we joke around about this tournament. This guy has a gimmick going on that, wrong one. This guy has a gimmick going on like crazy ass, stuff. But all in actuality, and the thing is, behind the scenes, without kayfabe, we are all good friends. And the thing about it is that I know in a heartbeat, Ray would call me if something happened. If something happened, he saw in the Facebook group that happened to me, and Drew would literally, since he's the closest one out of all of them, would be like, run up here if I needed anything in a heartbeat. That's how good of friends these guys are. And even though Maggie's all the way in Bulgaria in the community and stuff like that, I know they would
Belgium.
Be around.
I knew it started with a B. How
many? Okay, let's be real. Anakin, how many times did we say Bulgaria last week?
I mean, there was all the Miro jokes. They were just sitting there, and you mixed it up with a country known for waffles. I mean, come on, man. Like,
I will tell you, I make some darn good Belgium waffles. Like, real good. Like I have told people, hey, if you ever come to Michigan and you need a place to crash, you could crash at my place. And in the morning, I'm making waffles because I make real good ones. Like my nieces and nephew like want me to make waffles. My son would rather have my waffles than even like frozen one. So
you're
I'm
better
just
than
saying,
frozen waffles. All right.
Mine are better than IHOP's, and I'll even say they're probably better than Waffle House. Why? Because I make mine from scratch.
Wait, why did you test that? You live close by. Because I
don't live close to a Waffle House.
No,
I have a stipulation.
He meant to me.
I have a stipulation.
Okay.
If Anakin loses this predictions thing that he put in place, he has to mail us all waffles.
It'll take 6 months to get there.
I'll be honest, like with my stuff I have to ship, it's financially with everything, it's very difficult recently. Yes, a lot of this is food stuff, but a lot of stuff I'm looking for is Massachusetts specific. So it's like, a good example. I asked Sean if he wears a hat. He doesn't wear a hat. He doesn't have hats. Like, I can't send Anakin and not send DK something because of the fact that it's not right. So I'm trying to make it all equal. So the chips actually came out of nowhere because they were free. So, but like, I don't know if DK is gonna not like, you know, Fluff or Teddy's peanut butter or Nico candy or stuff. Like, somebody said me this, and I told Ray and Anakin this. Someone told me to send a live lobster in the box.
I don't remember you saying.
I don't remember this either.
That's cruel, man. That's really cruel.
I don't remember this.
I mean, like, when it goes to the restaurants, that.
All right. Throwback. Ray and I will get you the windmill cookies that Sean and Jeremy love so much. We'll send those to you.
I'm gonna be honest.
You know what I was?
Because I don't even know what they are.
So you want to
be know what they are?
I don't recall what they are. I probably do, but.
So let's play this round.
It's like
this round before
they're like
we give
they're
the
like
floor
almond windmill cookies.
Before we give Drew the floor, because we promised him to give him the last 5 to 10 minutes as promised. This guy owes me a jersey still, and I have his down in the basement. Oh, I'll get you a freaking hockey jersey, a Reds jersey and stuff. Said that 7 months ago, 8 months ago, before I lost that
storytelling.
Yes. It is. Mike's back on.
I don't recall. When do I?
Said
what do
to
I
me,
owe you a jersey for?
You said I need a Red Wings jersey. That's something.
I didn't say I was going to. I didn't say I was going to get you one. I just said you need one. I never said I would send you one. I never did.
Well, your Brady one is still sitting downstairs, so that still works.
Okay.
And by the way, they're going to be in Jiffy Lubes shipping boxes, so they'll be like what we get for our shit. So
that's fine.
All right. Well, I'm going to mute y'all. The guy who has the Roman Reigns complex wants the screen, so we'll give that to him. So 1, 2, 3.
Thank you, Mr. Throwback. Full screen. This is what I like. So, if you were on my Twitter, you saw that I said that I have vital information that I need to share with the world. Phil, please. So, last week, main event Anakin JMT and Ray, they decided to put their differences aside and get the band back together. Anakin won, but their friendship and their bonds, it was just too strong. They had to get back together. It's a shameful thing. But none of that mattered anymore. Why is that? Because there's something that none of you know. Something that none of you know. Somebody else did AEW Double or Nothing predictions. Me. That's right. I did AEW Double or Nothing predictions. And last week, when CAD Predicts revealed the 8-8 tie between Anakin and Ray, and then Anakin won the tiebreaker to make it 9, started thinking. So on a whim, I contacted my stats guy, independent from CAD's, to crunch numbers. These numbers, they revealed the truth. My stats guy sent me this. My correct predictions for AEW Double or Nothing. Ray and Anakin, remember, they tied at 8. And Anakin's 9 broke the tie. What do you see here? Five. What's going on with that thing? 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 correct predictions. Look at that. I tied you guys, and there was that one little thing where Anakin picked the right person. EW World Title match. Look at what I did there. Orange Cassidy. So it looks like Anakin and I tied. That's so interesting. But I know that Mr. Predicts and Mr. Throwback, they don't like ties. They don't like ties, but what could we... Oh, here's a tiebreaker for you. Sammy Guevara pinned Shawn Spears. Guess what, everybody? That means I won. I beat Anakin.
No. What it means is he had a category that we didn't have. Phil.
Don't try and weasel your way out of this. I won.
You had a category to break the tie that we didn't have. Don't spread your nonsense here.
Here's the truth, Drew.
I'm the rightful victor.
If you weren't on the show, it doesn't count.
You got to be in the match to win the match.
Tad's the referee. His decision stands. I will say this: the fact that you're trying to cheat the fact that you're trying to cheat your way into a win, that's not something a real champion would do. But I guess you're not a real champion because that belt you bought off of WWE Shop and you didn't actually win it. See, a real champion will win something. Let's not forget, Sasha Banks stole Asuka's Raw Women's Championship belt. And Sasha said, I'm the Raw Women's Champion. But guess what? She wasn't the Raw Women's Champion. Asuka was still champion. Jinder Mahal stole Randy Orton's WWE title, had a photo shoot done of him with it, and yet he was not the recognized WWE champion at that time. You can call yourself a champion all you want, but until you actually legitimately win one, that belt doesn't mean anything, Drew. And a real champion earns what they get. They don't buy it. That's why Ted DiBiase is not an official WWE champion, because he tried to buy the title instead of earning it. And guess what? He's not an official WWE champion.
You're both just scared right now. You're scared because you know that I beat you both.
See, here's the thing. You're declaring a championship, but you're really just kind of doing this.
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's all right.
You know what? Declare it all you want. It doesn't mean.
You know what? I'm the rightful victor, and I should be moving to face.
You have to be in the match to win the match.
Seems to me he might need to be disqualified from the tournament because he's trying to steal a victory. I'm just saying.
Let's just say this much: the person he is facing is basically excited to go against him. So we'll just leave it at that.
And who's he facing?
I'm interested to know who that is.
Oh, we don't know.
No, you'll find out eventually.
My money is on the opponent.
Okay.
And I don't believe that.
It's funny. The head of the table shows up and wins in any circumstance. In a three-way dance, I smash him, I stack him, I pin him.
Hey, Drew, last time I checked, you were a teacher, not a porn star. Have a good night.
Whoa, hold on.
Wow.
With that being said, we're going to be wrapping it up for tonight.
Wow.
So,
hold on.
Wow.
You got to...
Yeah, I agree.
Mike,
fellow teacher. That was harsh.
Have you seen the memes about that whole freaking thing? Anyways, we're gonna wrap it up because literally we've been on for about an hour. So we're gonna start it off with the head of the table, considering the fact that he does like to smash, stack, and trash everybody. So go ahead, head of the table.
At Big Money Drew, Twitter, the best and worst place to be.
It's true.
All right. Ray, go ahead. You know what to do.
You can find me on Twitter, Angry Beaver 1127. I do Impact, AEW, and WWE /NXT pay-per-view prediction shows on my YouTube channel. Trying to get into those 3-digit subs because 23 is not very many. Trying to get to 100 so that way I can make some channel modifications because YouTube has those layers. So help get me there. Give the channel a sub. Would appreciate that. But I tweet about other wrestling things and some other social commentary things. So give me a like on the Twitter, follow on Twitter, all that stuff. But yeah, it's fun. Go watch my videos. They're good. Actually, they're filth, but go watch them anyway.
Go ahead, Anakin.
You can find me on Twitter at AnakinJMT and also on Discord on the Mr. Warren Hayes Discord. Announcement. This week is E3 for video games. It has already started. I am going to be doing live watch-alongs and reactions. There's 2 I know for sure. It is going to be done. Xbox and Bethesda. That is going to be on Sunday at 2:30. Nope, not that one. There it is. 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 a.m. Eastern. And I'm going to have on that. Eastern? No, PM. 1 p.m. Eastern.
You said 1 a.m. Dude, did you say 1 a.m.?
I said 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, because that's how they put it on the site. And I'm gonna have on there with me. I'm gonna have this guy down here.
Yeah.
On there, I'm gonna have Thomas Gorey on, the Thursday Night Messiah, as he likes to call himself, and Mr. Warren Hayes. We are all going to be reacting to that on the Wicked Crazy Crew channel on YouTube and also on Twitch here, which is, what is it?
Twitch.tv/throwback978.
978. Okay, yes. So we're doing that one for sure. And then also Tuesday at noon Eastern is a Nintendo Direct. We're going to be reacting to that one for sure.
I'll join you for that one too.
All right, so that'll be me and Aaron.
I'll be there because I'm off.
All right. You, me, and Throwback sounds awesome. That'll be great. I don't know for sure if we can do other ones. There's a Ubisoft one on Saturday and a Capcom one on Monday. I might have an interest in doing. It all depends on my schedule. But for sure, be on Twitch or on the Wicked Crazy Crew of YouTube Sunday, 1 o'clock Eastern, Xbox Bethesda, Tuesday, noon Eastern for Nintendo Direct. Should be a great time.
And then the best part of all, and before Aaron goes, we have a third match next week, and I can't wait. Go ahead, Aaron.
So before I go, you can get GGMC on those streams with you, Anakin.
I've invited him. I haven't heard anything yet.
He's just gonna be on the chat on the side. So yeah, you can find me on Aaron Entertainment. My Twitter handle is down below, Aaron Entertainment. Just type in the YouTube search engine, you'll find me. I usually do wrestling videos. I do wrestling streams once a week. Pop culture stream once a week. I didn't do it today. Didn't feel like it. I do a sports stream once a week, but I'm not going to do it this week. I am doing NXT preview stream tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern time. All of us are here in the same time zone, so 3 p.m. Eastern time. If anybody wants to join me, whether in the stream or listening, I'll send you a link tomorrow if you're available, and we could talk Takeover.
And on top of that, we've got another show possibly in the works, because right now I'm getting text messages from the crew from Kismet. They're conversating right now about possibly wanting to do a show tomorrow, which would be good. So go check out their stuff too, because of the fact that they talk about dating, relationships, and COVID and stuff. It's a little different. By the way, go to www.undisputedbelts.com. They're the ones who are helping us with this title belt. You're not going to get anything off, but go check out their stuff. That's really good. Go check out Sister Customs Designs. They do a really good stuff. They did a shirt for the show. Go check out Fightful and Love Wrestling, because literally, we have to support our friends over there and stuff like that, which I guess I just saw John now literally pulling out sparklers and they're doing fireworks and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's great. Other than that, you can hit the subscribe button, tap the bell for all notifications, and change that over. If you go to your settings, set it up for all that stuff. Check out the Twitch too. Anything helps. And, like I said, go donate, go do something great. I mean, it's going to be a nice weekend here in New England. So this tournament's heating up. Next week, we got a huge matchup. Pat Mason, the kind and one who declared himself the Daniel Bryan of the tournament, with the buzzsaw herself, Maggie.
I can't wait for that. Poor Patrick is gonna. I'm sorry. Patrick. Maggie's gonna destroy you.
Rest in peace, Patrick.
Yeah. But anyways, guys, do a good deed, pay it forward. Do something good for somebody, because you never know. Tomorrow is a gift, and after that, you don't know what will happen.
Can I plug one more thing real quick?
Go.
So, Music and Moonsaults is a channel for those of you that are in the see you later. For those of you that are in the Fightful community, Chris Ibanez is a guy that you may or may not have seen, but he has a channel called Music and Moonsaults. He's from Detroit, so another Michigan guy. He and I are going to be doing a retro review on John Cena versus Rob Van Dam at One Night Stand 2006, when Rob Van Dam cashed in his Money in the Bank contract against John Cena in front of an ECW crowd. So we are going to be retro reviewing that Saturday night, and then I think he's going to try to put it up Sunday during the day, if not within the next couple of days. So if you go to Music and Moonsaults, that's the name of the channel. He does really cool stuff. He's done stuff with Jeremy Lambert and Joe Holbert on some WrestleMania fantasy drafts. Those are pretty cool too. So go give that Music and Moonsaults channel a look at too as well. So I'll be doing that Saturday night. So look for that very soon.
What about you, Drew? Is there anything else you want to do?
Yes, actually, there is. I just happened to be checking out the prediction show that happened before on the Wicked Crazy Crew TV channel. Very good channel, second channel here. And I happened to, I was just perusing, browsing. And then I noticed Mr. Tad Predicts cut a promo on
me. Yes, he did.
Can we wait on that, please? I gotta sleep. You got your Twitter too. You can do this.
Yeah, next week. Do that one.
Tad, I'll be seeing you.
All right. Anyways, that's just a little creepy. Have a good night.